Another thing I want to talk about, Autistic Explorer here, about epilepsy. Yeah, so another thing I want to say is this, that I wanted to add to the conversation we've been having so far right now. Lying about epilepsy, about having it or not having it, not a good sign. You know, there's a lot that we want to do that we're all capable of. We are, you may be capable of joining the military, driving, or getting behind the wheel of any sort of moving vehicle. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's a tractor trailer, whether it's, but I have heard so many times of lethal accidents happened due to people who have had seizures before, due to lying about their health on saying, well, I don't have epilepsy, so they go and they study for their license to drive a bus. You know what I'm saying? To become bus drivers. And then, listen, I know people who have not had with epilepsy who have not had seizures before in their lives, but that's only because they have been lucky. They have gotten lucky, and I congratulate them for that. That's great. Only because they didn't lose hope with that. But anything could happen later on in the future. Anything could happen later on in the future where we sometimes think that to ourselves, and our medications are working great. So what's the problem? Can I still drive a car? Can I still take myself to work every day? Do I really need someone driving me around all the time? Well, let me see how to put this. The thing is, though, look at me, for an example, okay? I'm on a medication for anxiety. My medication used to help me with, it used to only help me with 1 milligram. I used to be able to just need 1 milligram and that's it. Now I need 2 milligrams because I outgrew the 1 milligram. There you go. Boom. The thing is that what if the milligram is not enough for you now, right? The milligram that you're on for epilepsy outdid itself, and now the doctor has to up you for more milligrams. You know what I'm saying? You have to kind of be careful. Let me see. Well, yeah. So what I'm trying to say is, you may feel like everything's fine now because you're on a medication that helps it, right? Because and you may think that the milligrams are helping still to this day, like it did before. The problem is that what if there's something not right about your medication, and then here you are driving this oversized vehicle, driving passengers around in your cargo unit, or maybe driving an oversized, or let's say you're driving this oversized, it doesn't have to be a bus. It could be like a freight vehicle, as big, just as big. Same engine, same everything, right? Diesel, you name it. If there's something not right about your medication, okay, and you may not know about it until that last minute. It's happened before, where a lot of drivers out there, drivers of all sort, even pilots. In fact, the thing that changes the conversation a little bit with this too. You ever watch? Some of you might have seen the movie Flight. Now, I'm not saying it talks about a guy with epilepsy, but there is one thing that he did that yeah, he got lucky, but, you know, killed about 6 lives, luckily. It could have been the whole aircraft. But in the movie, it talks about um, a guy who was an alcoholic severely, and because the reason why was because he had PTSD. The man in the movie was a military guy, an ex-military guy. He was in the Naval Air Force, and yeah, he I don't know. His wife divorced him, I guess, and he started becoming a heavy drinker, and that's it. He lied a lot in the movie. He lied a lot about his drinking and to try to get his pilot's license back and keep his job. But that's the problem. Lying itself can be lethal, especially when it comes to health. This is what I wanted to talk about. Lying about your health. Epilepsy. Lying about epilepsy. Yep. You don't want to do that. If you know you have it, just tell the truth. Because it's not only going to be the truth that's going to save your life. Doctors are there to save your life too, you know? Your doctor is there, and your care provider and your care manager, they're all there to save your life. And that's why I'm here, not as the autistic explorer, simply by being there for you, by I'm saving your life too by getting you to understand that, you may not feel like you have it anymore. You may not feel like you have it at all because you haven't had a seizure before with it. But because it does kind of mean that, because it's a seizure type disability, it can be lethal if you ever had a seizure, okay? And what's even more lethal than ever is when you say, well, I don't have epilepsy. I'm gonna go get my license and operate heavy machinery. And what if your medication isn't, and you get off the medication or you're on the medication for it and you just want to keep it, you just want to keep that private. I understand. Please, there used to be a lot of things about my disability and other things that I didn't want put out there. But I put it out there because, because there's a lot that you can get out of it, a lot of good things that I got out of it. And that's why I'm here to give you the best advice I can give you, is to don't lie about your disability. Don't lie about your health, especially. Your disability may be part of it, but your health is the biggest part of it. You understand? Yeah. So there's you got to remember, it's all about safety. It's not about whether you're capable of doing it or not. Okay? You can be capable of doing anything, even with epilepsy, and the thing that can affect your ability to perform your job or perform whatever it is you're doing that may not even be a job is you can get a seizure in the middle of it and not know it, and until that very last minute, and then right in the middle of what you're doing, you end up showing the symptoms of it, and that's a death wish right there, because the most dangerous thing that we do in life is we operate machinery, and we get behind the wheel of cars and trucks and buses and motorcycles and all these things that we invented years ago that I'm not saying that we should have had, but listen, we do it because it's a need today. This is where questions are always asked for safety purposes. Are you epileptic? Are you suicidal? Are you, you know, all these things that, they're going to want to know because they don't want to be responsible for what happens to you. They care. They want to care. The questions may sound stupid, but I'm telling you they're not. Okay? And epilepsy, listen, there's a lot of things you can lie about, but I would not lie about, if you know you have epilepsy, I would not lie about it because, I'm not saying it's up to them to decide what you're capable of, but it is up to them to decide if it's even safe for you to do. Because if you, the thing that can get in the way is seizures. Seizures can happen in the middle of anything. In the middle of what your job performance. You know what I'm saying? And that, I mean, look, we were talking about this movie. Denzel Washington is in it. Yeah, Flight. The man didn't have epilepsy, but he was a severe alcoholic. Although he was capable of being a pilot, the thing that the thing that got him fired and luckily not killed was that he piloted the aircraft drunk. And seizures, I'm not saying is like it, because it's not. It's permanent. I mean, it's if you have epilepsy, the difference is that it's permanent, which means a seizure can happen even without being drunk. I guess what I'm trying to say is being drunk isn't the same as operating machinery while you're while being epileptic. It's not the same. It's a lot different. And it's, that's why they tell you because it does mean that. It does mean that that you have your seizures, even though, for all you may have antibodies that fight it automatically, so you get lucky not to have seizures. Well, okay, but don't bet on it too much. I mean, still keep possibilities all opened and just try to listen to your body, listen to your doctor, and answer the questions stating the truth, so that and if yes, just tell the truth to why. You know what I'm saying? Have you had seizures before? Well, say yes. If you've had seizures, but if it's true and you've had seizures before, just say yes. Let the doctors do what they have to do to save your life. And just for the sake of me, because I care about a lot of you, and for you especially. I mean, it's all up to you, but I care about a lot of you. I want you all to stay safe. All right? I stand before you all to keep it into consideration. I've known people who have had seizures before and have gotten lucky not to be exploring their lives in heaven, and those who have had epilepsy, who have been lucky enough not to have seizures, but can still have seizures to this day. I don't mean to this day. I mean later on. Okay, I take that back. Later on, if they haven't had it before, they could. When I say they could, I mean they could have it. Life's going to decide whether or not you're going to have it later on. So just try to stay on top of your meds for it. Try not to lie about your medication. Try not to lie about not just your medication. Of course, don't lie about your medication, but try also not to lie about your health, or, if let's say you're epileptic, if let's say you've had seizures before. Try not to lie about it. Tell the truth so that maybe they can help you with a high enough dosage that maybe you won't have seizures at all. If that way, you know what I'm saying? Because trust me, technically having epilepsy means that it means having seizures, you know, and there is a way to avoid it. There is a way to avoid having seizures. But is it going does it stop you from from things that you may be capable of? It does. It can't. I'm not saying. I'm not. Well, I don't know if it does completely, but it for the most part does, because they don't want you. They, you know, for safety purposes, it does. You know what I'm saying? I know people who can't drive because of it. You know. Yeah. It's just it feels like it's almost like them, like doctors actually saying to you, well, it's almost like driving with no seatbelt on, not wearing a helmet on a motorcycle, or not wearing a cup if you're playing sports, or a helmet if you're playing sports. You know what I'm saying? Or any sort of protection when you're playing sports. No, look, lies can be like playing with fire. Okay, you play again. I've said this before. You play with fire, you're gonna get burned. You know. You don't want to. You don't want to do that. You wanna tell the truth and stay safe. And if the doctor says don't operate any heavy machinery of any sort, please don't do it, because, you know. Well, that's my story for the day. You know, for the day of epilepsy. I hope those of you with epilepsy stay safe, and please remember what I said. And, you know, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to keep you safe and stuff like that. All right. Peace out to the disabled community. Autistic Explorer out.